Hi all, so welcome to this channel, and today I am presenting this topic which is code conversion allocation API. So basically I'm today having this presentation for API programming. So I'll be using this icon API here to convert the character sets between the different languages. For example, we have English language and we have, for example, just say Japanese or some other language, and we want that the data, whenever we are sharing the data between these two languages or between different languages, what happened, the character sets would get replaced or substituted with some other character. So maybe your dollar would become something else on some other character sets. So or for example, whenever, since IBMI is using the EBCDIC character set, and as we all know that Windows is using the ASCII, so in that case as well, whenever we are transferring data from IFS to uh, Windows, then what happens that the EBCDIC character sets would get converted to the ASCII, and there we found that some characters are substituted or replaced with some other characters of the ASCII. So this is the problem which basically exists uh, from a long time, and yes, of course we have a solution to this, that is the Unicode. So how we're going to handle such things? So for example, if you are converting your data to the Unicode, then it's okay whenever you are converting data uh, to a language whose code page are same. Maybe the CCS ID would have different, but the code page are same. But if their code page are different, means their character sets are different. So basically some of the characters would not be present on other, or others character would not be present on this one. So this will cause your characters to be replaced with some other values. So to ensure that the correct character what we have sent from one language should be displayed on the other one, we need to convert them to the Unicode. So for that purpose, the simple Unicode, that is %UCS2, won't work, and we need a proper conversion to be done. So for that purpose we have a common API icon which serves this purpose for us, and yes, it creates an environment for converting the data from one character set to the other and fulfill this purpose. So let me show you the demo for this. So I have written this program. So the first important thing is default activation group. So you can see this is star no, because we are using the uh, ext proc here, and if we are calling any procedure using the ext proc, we must define that with the star no. Now let me explain you some points, then I'll come to the code, because you must have to understand the concept or the basic things first. So once you get the basic idea about this, you will be able to handle the Unicode every time. So what happens, basically we need to exchange the data between different languages or the environments or the platform, you can say. So for example, one is on the English machine and some other is on the Chinese or Japanese or some other machines, let's say um, French machine or something else. So in that case, the data which is transferred from one machine must be consistent onto the other machine too. So to ensure that, we need to convert that data to that, to the language which we are going to transfer. So for that purpose we will be using this API. And as we all know that IBMI is using the EBCDIC character set and Windows is using the ASCII, and we have a Unicode encoding as well. So basically let me tell you what it is. Just imagine everything as an hexadecimal thing, because everything is just processing, whether your data, everything just stored in the hexadecimal. So maybe some character in EBCDIC have a hex value, let's say 10, and or let's say 4A or 4B or something else, and the same for the same character the hex value would be different in the ASCII. So whenever you are transferring data between EBCDIC to ASCII, basically from IBMI to Windows, the data got replaced or substituted with some other character, so you are not seeing what you have sent from the IBMI because the hex values are different in both the cases. And so that's why we want the Unicode encoding. And Unicode encoding is something, let me explain this to you, that when we design the Unicode encoding, when we use the Unicode encoding, uh, what IBM ensures is they have a unique hex value for each character. So in that case we do not, uh, you can say, we do not faces these types of issues, that is mismatch of hex values between the two character sets EBCDIC or ASCII. So Unicode encoding will ensure that the hex value should be or always be unique for every character. So it contains all the character sets, um, character in itself, and having a unique hex value for all of them. But how we will going to implement this Unicode encoding? So Unicode encoding is basically, um, to implement that we need to insert, for example, we have a character field, and that character field had some data which is inserted from the English machine or from, let's say, Japanese machine. Okay, so from both machines the different character sets are inserted into that data. Now if that file field is character, then what happens, it basically saves in the CTS ID of what, of that machine or that language. So let's say for Japanese it's 290, I think. So let's say it saves in the 290 CCS ID, and for the code page 1172, which has a different code page, and for, let's say, for US and Canada we have CCS ID 37 and the code page 697. So you can see that between these two language the code page different, means the character set is different. So if you are going to transfer data from US or Canada machines to the Japanese machine, or you can say the English machine to the Japanese machine, what happens, your character would get replaced or substituted to something else, so you won't be seeing what you have sent to them. So in that case, what we will be going to do in the future is we will be implementing Unicode encoding. So Unicode encoding is just simply, it's just a very simple thing. What we need to do is we need to define our fields with the graphic and with the CCS IDs, let's say 1343 13488 or 1200, whatever we want, UTF-16 or UTF-8. So in that case, what happens, whenever we insert data, it would get stored into the Unicode field basically. So whenever it goes into the Unicode field, so what system ensures, or IBM ensures that it would have the unique hex value for each character, which is remain constant at the international level. Okay, but that is not the case with the character field. So once we implement the Unicode encoding to our databases, we will be having the no issue. We will not be having any issues with these types of character sets, that is ASCII or ABCDIC. But as we all know that some companies are using this converting their databases to the Unicode encoding or making them Unicode enabled, but not all. So still we have the fields in the character formats, and we want them to be transferred to some other machines. So in that case, they were some characters gets translated, or some characters gets replaced or substituted with some other character on the particular character sets which has the same hex value. Okay, so to resolve this issue, so whenever we are sending between two character sets, two languages having the different uh, code page, then only this issue occurs. So then only the characters gets translated between the two languages sets. So what happens then? Then only we will be using this API, convert data using icon system API, so that it would send the into the that API to into that CCS ID. It first convert the data to the CCS ID of the uh, destination wherever I am sending, and then the destination will receive the correct data. So basically for example, if dollar is there on the English and same is on the just not take dollar here, just take an example, let's say dollar. So if hex value of dollar is 5B on EBCDIC, so on EBCDIC 290, that is on Japanese machine, this is on English machine like US or Canada, and on Japanese machine if we have, we can see that the same hex value is representing this character. So whenever I am transferring dollar from CCS ID 37 to the Japanese machine, it would get converted to this character. And I think most of us have already been faced this issue. So we are basically seeing this young character, I think. uh, so basically what we are sending 5B, which is a hex value for dollar on this machine, and we since we receive the same thing without any conversion, so we and on that character sets or on that language, that is Japanese machine CCS ID 290, the code page is 1172, and for that the 5B hex value is for this one. So basically it will display this. So before that, what we want, we need to convert that to that using the icon API, so that the correct hex value would get replaced and sent to the Japanese machine, so that it would display the dollar instead of yen. So that's what I already explained, the code page character sets. So it basically supports 0 to 65535 CCS ID, and it basically identifies the code page and character set itself. So this API is uh, you can say it's just a wonder for us, and we can use this directly, and we can have no issue when we are exchanging data between the different languages or environments. So you can see I have written here something. Different code pages exist for ABCDIC and ASCII, like this one for this and 1252 for Windows. And as we all have uh, can, or maybe in the past or in the future we'll face this issue, like transferring data from ABCDIC to ASCII also. So that's not only limited to the English machine to the Japanese machine or some other machine, but it can be from your own machine, your English machine or some other machine, maybe Japanese machine, to your Windows. So you will face this issue. So you need to convert that data using the icon before actually processing them. So I already have explained, like for US Canada, CSS ID is this, code page is this. For Japanese, CSS ID is this, code page is this, and many more. And there are several others. You can search them on the internet. And so that's what I was saying, that we have the data integrity problem. Basically, we are not able to maintain the data correctly because we are sending the data without converting them using the icon. So this is the case what I told you, that when the code paste differs, it causes the issue. So this is the issue, which this is the one issue. There can be many characters, so I am highlighting only one here. Now for dollar, as I already written here, for dollar the hex value is E0, but here the hex value is 5 beyond ABCDIC37. So before converting or before sending it to the Japanese machine, we need to convert it to the E0. So it should be done by the API, not by us, because we cannot maintain all those things it ourselves, because it's not limited to a specific language. It would be for all the languages which are supported by the Unicode, basically. Yeah, one more thing, CCS ID 65535, which basically not allows any conversion. So that's what I'm saying, that if a file is having a CCS ID 65535 and that contains this dollar sign, and we are sending it to the some other machines, so it would convert into the yen. Maybe for 30, I didn't try it, but you may try. For 37, let's say, uh, it would because it allows, as I know, that it allows the conversion internally. So maybe it converts that, but I don't think so, because um, you can try at your end. It's up to you. Now that's what I've written for the Unicode. Provide unique hex encoding for every character, platform independent, language independent, program independent. Change database fields like character open to the graphics CSS ID this. So this is what I already explained, that whenever we want the Unicode encoding in our systems, so we need to convert our database fields to the Unicode, that is graphic, and we need to assign some CSS ID, either 13488 or 1200, to them to support the Unicode thing. Now let me show you. We have this service program. That's what I am always or every time saying, that we will be using icon API, basically that procedure. So this procedure is existed in this service program, which is there in the QSys library. So let me show you the procedures. Just do DSP SRV PGM. So you can see all these details here. Now these are the modules which are bind to this, and the service programs as well. Now you can see this service program has 4 procedures. qtq icon v open, icon v underscore open. So these two are basically same. You can use either of them. The only difference is just of the data structure. So this has the more simple data structure and this has some complex one. So we'll be basically using this one here to show you this demo, and this is basically icon which converts the data between the different character sets, and this is for closing. So basically first we create an environment, a conversion environment for us, then only we convert. After that we can do multiple conversions in that, and at last once we feels that all have been converted, or our process is done, then convert process is done, then we'll close the conversion environment. So basically the process is first open, then convert, open the conversion environment, then convert the data, and then close the conversion environment. So this is what all procedures will do, and will execute in the same fashion. So now I'm going to show you the code here. So I have explained all these things, that whenever you are transmitting data between two languages having the different code page, that is different character sets, then you need to use this API to transfer your data, so that no character would get replaced or substituted with some other character on the destination machine, because maybe that the character you are transferring may not exist with the same hex value on the other machine or other character sets. So you need to convert that first, then only you should transfer. Now the first procedure which I'm using is QTQ icon. We open that. I already showed you that this procedure is just to open the conversion environment for us. So it basically performs some initialization for converting character encoding from source CCS ID to CCS or destination CCS ID. So basically here we will pass the to code and from code. To code consists of the to CCS ID and other things as well, and from code is consist of the from CCS ID and other variables or other parameters as well. So basically it's a data structure. So I am here passing the pointer to the data structure, not data structure directly. So we'll be basically passing the pointers to the data structure as what its prototype has already been designed by the IBM. So it returns a conversion descriptor to us, that is whether we can start the conversion or not. So it will basically conversion descriptor will be set with the single byte shift state, and here we can see what it is. So basically I am taking I have to pass to code and from code pointers, and will be returning the descriptor. Now let me show you to code. So to code is a DS, so I'll be basically passing the address of this to the first procedure, that is openproc, mainly this one. So you can see 2 CCS ID, which is binary 4 as defined as 10I0 in the RPG, to conversion alternative, to substitute alternative, to shift state alternative, to input length option, to error option for mixed data, to reserved. So these are all things, and you can see to reserve will be all 0 hexadecimal zeros initialized with, and here you can see I have initialized them with the 0. You can pass any other value which is stated above, but all those values are not applicable for the to code. They are applicable for the from code. So the same DS is for from code as well. So both have the same DS, but they are passing a different references. So let me tell you what they are. So CCS ID we can pass from 1 to 65533 in to or from, but there is a special value which we can pass, that is 0, which means that we want to use the job CCS ID. We do not want to give the from CCS ID. Here we are going to use the job CCS ID directly. Now when we pass the 65535, then it go and search for the job CCS ID. If still not found, it would search for the default CCS ID of the system for allowing the conversion, because 65535 won't allowing the conversion actually. So conversion alternative is basically 0, 57 or 102. These are for some other purposes. Here we are passing 0, which is IBM default, so we are using the default one. You can look for 57 and 102 as per your need on the internet. Substitution alternative are 0 and 1. So here we are passing 0, means number of substitution characters not written, number of substitutions character written. So basically wherever the substitution would happen, if any character want present in the character sets, so that would get written, not written if 0, and if it's present it would return 1. Shift state alternative is 0 or 1 here. So conversion descriptor not return to initial shift state. So here what happens, whatever the conversion descriptor we are returning, it would not return to the initial state what it was at the first call or the first attempt. So if I pass 0, it would not return to the initial shift state. If I pass 1, it would return to the initial shift state, or you can say initial state. Input length options are 0 or 1. Here I am passing 0. So 0 means conversion descriptor created so that icon does not know number of bytes. So basically when I pass 0, so icon procedure, after this, once I open the conversion environment, then I need to convert that using the icon procedure. So icon procedure will not know how many number of bytes are left basically. So in that case we need to pass the input bytes left correctly, and if I pass 1, then what I have to do, I have to append the null character at the end of input buffer, input value what I am passing, and I need to pass input bytes left with the 0 in that case. So here you can see I am taking 0 on all the cases. Error options for mixed data is 0, that is error not returned. If I pass 1, error will be returned with the error number as well. So all these are all the subfields of the DS which I am basically passing here to the for which the pointer I am passing here for to code and from code. So now let me show you the code here first, then I'll come to the next things. So this is the starting of the code. So here I am passing the from CCS ID or to CCS ID. From CCS ID is just, as I already told, that this is the job CCS ID is used. So whatever the job CCS ID is currently right now, just check. So the job CCS ID is 273, that is US, set for the US. So currently, so we'll basically this will refer the 273 CCS ID and it will convert to the CCS ID 1200. So we can convert between the different CCS IDs like 819 which is ISO, that is when we are transferring the EBCDIC to the Windows through using the path of the IFS. So here the things we need to set is the from and to CCS ID, which is basically are the subfields of these two DS, from CCS ID and to CCS ID. So we will now pass the DS pointers. So you can see after that I am passing openproc procedure. I am calling openproc procedure and passing the address of to code and from code as per the prototype and returning the conversion descriptor. So conversion descriptor is basically let me show you that as well. This is the conversion descriptor which I am receiving. So basically it will return either 0 or -1. -1 means there is some error. 0 means we can start the conversion. The conversion environment is open successfully. Here it will return the other things like the CSS IDs and other things as well. So this was a DS, so basically it will return this DS. So now we have conversion descriptor with us. We'll check if return val is -1 of that. This is the subfield of this one. If it's error in open, else it is open, then we need to convert the data using the icon API. So now go to the icon API declaration. So this was until for the open API. Now this is for icon. So whatever the conversion descriptor we received using the open API, we'll pass that to the icon API as a first parameter. So here you can see we are calling the icon procedure, and I named that as same. I can name it differently because we are actually using xcproc. Now what I'm doing, I'm basically passing that conversion descriptor here, and then I'm passing input buffer, input bytes left, output buffer, output bytes left. So basically this will be having the input and this is the output, and we can this is the prototype for this. Either we can pass the uh, pointers or the values. So basically here we'll be passing the pointers. So you can see I have declared, so this was the prototype, not the definition. You can say declaration for the parameters. So here I am declaring some parameter like input bytes left, so which I'll be passing here as 10i0, or output bytes left as 10i0. But let's leave because I'm passing the pointer, so I won't be using this. So I can remove this. In that case, if I was passing the I can, yes I can, sure I can pass 10i0 here as well and here as well, but I'm not passing that. So this is not required anymore. Just delete this. Let it be like this as we are using this. So this is the icon API prototype, and we are basically declaring input byte left and output bytes left here, 10i0 10i0, as you can see, left, output bytes left, and this is the input buffer and output buffer where we need to pass the data. So now here is the trick, that whatever value we are passing, so for example I am passing input value s of 50, let's say I can pass up to this. So basically max size for the buffers is this I mentioned. So whatever the conversion descriptor by the this will be passed to this. So you can see I have the data hello here, and what I'm doing is what I have to do is I have to pass the pointer to the API icon, else it won't be working correctly. So basically it receives that, so it wants that. So let me tell you. So here you can see this is input value which I'll be passing. So I defined a pointer which contains the address of this input value. Now I define the pointer to pointer, as we will be doing in the C languages as well. So here I'm passing the address of this pointer. So basically I'm passing the address of this pointer here. So this is the pointer to pointer. So basically pointer to pointer will store the address of this, and this address will store this data. So basically we are passing this data indirectly using the pointer to pointer approach. And this is the return code, whatever we are returning from the icon. So here you can see. Now let's move on to the code. This was the declaration which I am showing you. Now move on to the code. If it is opened, so this was complete. If it is opened, what I'm doing, I'm passing the length of input value. So first I will trim that, and then I'll pass the length of that to the input bytes left, and I'll pass the size of input value, whatever the value is, to the output bytes left. So basically these will get decremented by the process or by the API, Conv API, during the conversion, to check whether all those characters are converted or not, or to keep the state of all those characters are converted or not. So here you can see I'm calling this icon API now. So icon API, the first parameter is conversion descriptor. So I am passing the conversion descriptor here, whatever I am receiving from here, open API, and then I have to pass the input buffer. So in case of input buffer, what I'll do, I need to pass the input value. So here I'm already mentioned this is the input value, but I need to pass the pointer to pointer of that input value. So here you can see I am passing PTR to PTR1, and then you can see I'm passing the input bytes left. So I need to pass the pointer, so I'm passing address of that. Then again I need to pass the output buffer. So output buffer is same here because I need to convert the same data and have to keep that in the same one. So here I'm passing again PTR to PTR1, and the address of now output bytes left is the address of output bytes left, whatever we have here. This contains the full size, and this contains the data whatever it has. Now whatever written code is written by this one, if it is returned as -1, then it means that there is some error in the conversion. So I'll display that, else the data would get converted into this PTR to PTR1 basically, which is based on this one, input underscore value. So input underscore value will be converted to the character set defined in that CCS ID, to CCS ID, which we have passed. Now once all these things done, means we have opened the conversion environment using this API, that is this one, qtq icon open, or we can use icon underscore open as well, and then we have converted the data using the icon API. Now we have to close the environment. So let me tell you, I can call this icon multiple times before closing this. So yes, we can execute this multiple times. Now once we are done with the conversion, so I'm executing this only once. Once we are done with the conversion, we'll close this using the icon underscore close procedure, so which is basically close proc here, and we need to pass the conversion descriptor here only, which is like conversion descriptor. Now you can see I'm passing the conversion descriptor, and once it is closed, it will return the return code correctly. If it is 0, means it is closed. If it is -1, then it's some error in closing the conversion environment. So this is all about this API. So not much code, simple code. Just we need to open the environment, we need to convert the data, and we need to close the environment. That's simple thing we need to do. And what above is the declaration part, so that would be same always whenever you're using this one. And now let me show you the debug of the result here. So let me debug this API1. So I'll show you this demo on different CCS IDs, whatever possible for me. Just wait for let's put the breakpoint and call API1. Now you can see from CCS ID is 0 right now, and to CCS ID is 1200. Now we are passing the address from 2 code. Now you can see the 2 code data structure. So we have passed the CCS ID only, and everything else is 0, and here the from code is 0. So once it executes, it will open the conversion environment. So let's see the conversion descriptor. So you can see the conversion descriptor returned as 0 and with other informations as well, like you can see 273 and 1200. So this is the from CCS ID and this is the 1200 CCS ID. These are other things which are not of any use for now. And you can see we have passed from CCS ID is 0 and it takes the job CCS ID. So the job CCS ID is 273 right now. Now let's check return val. So return val is minus is 0, as you can see in the descriptor as well. This one is the return val, so it's 0. If it's not -1, then error is success. Open is successful, no error in open. Now it's open. We need to pass the input value length by trimming it. So length is 5 for hello world, and the input value for this one for output bytes is 50. Now we need to call the icon for conversion purpose. So we'll pass the conversion descriptor here with this information. Basically it tells that we need to convert from 273 CCS ID to 1200. This is the pointer to pointer, and this is the input bytes left, this is the output bytes left, and here again pointer to pointer one, that is basically this one. So let's call this. Let's check return code is 0, means it's successful. So let's now check the data which is converted. So we have the converted values in this one. Now you can see that from 273 to 1200 we have some data which is not readable format to us, but that's actually gets converted to the 1200 CCS ID. And then we are passing the conversion descriptor to the close, and we are closing the same, and that's close. Now let's just suppose, for example, call this again, and from CCS ID 0 means it once this gets called, it would directly refer the job CCS ID. Now let's change the 2 CCS ID. For example, I am changing the 2 CCS ID to 37, let's say, for English. Now what conversion descriptor is 273 and 37, and it's 0 means it is opened successfully. So I am converting 273 to 73. So this is the data, hello, and length is 5 and 50 for the output value. And let's see, it's successful. So let's see the converted data. It's again hello, because we are converting to the English, so we are seeing the correct data. Now let's call this. So from CCS ID 0, I can mention here the CCS ID 273 or 737, anyone else from CCS ID as well, but I am currently picking the job CCS ID for now. let's change it to CCS ID to 819. So you'll see something else. It's open. Let's call this. So you have converted the data. So you'll see some different character sets here. Now let's say, just take an example which I'll show you. For US we have 37 CCS ID. Let's say, let's just change the job CCS ID here for some time. Let's 37. So now the job CCS ID is 37. Let's call this. So it will pick, oh sorry, let me call it again. Now from CCS ID is 0 to CCS ID is, let's change this. So let me tell you, if CCS ID is 37 and we have a dollar sign, so just F11 F9, so I am replacing this hello value with the dollar character to show you this demo. So you can see in CCS ID 37 this dollar character is correct. It is represented as dollar, which is correct. Now to CCS ID is, let's change this. So if I change this to CCS ID 277, which is for Denmark, so in Denmark the same character will be represented as this. (37 to 277), return value 0, that's correct. Conversion environment open now. Input bytes left 1, it's 50. We are passing the descriptor and other informations as well. Now you'll see whether it's successful or not. It's successful. Now let's see the data. It must be this. So I'll be showing you that we have passed the dollar, but now we are receiving ACAP. So you can see what I told you, and you can verify this at your end too, that for US 37 CCS ID the dollar sign would be represented like this, but on the CCS ID 277 which is for Denmark, since the code page is different, so the character this would basically represent the dollar. So dollar would be represented like this there, but once you download it to the Windows, you will see the correct sign, dollar sign. So this was something, and now it's closed successfully. So now you can see you can actually convert the data from one character set to the another character set using this icon API, and this is very useful and very important for us and for those who are basically working on the Unicode conversions and who are implementing the Unicode conversions. Unicode conversion is something which we are implementing to our database, but if we are basically transferring some data from the database which is not Unicode actually and to some other environment, we have to perform the conversions first, then only we can transfer, else we'll be getting something else which we are not expecting. So that's what the aim of this session, to let you know how you can call this API, how you can consume this API in your RPG program, and you can convert the data between the two character sets and use this API. So that's all. Thank you and have a nice time.